Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch League Report. I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
And we are covering the New York Excelsior, which I just learned is the state motto of New York, which is surprising me because I thought it was... Alright, Ben, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, ready to talk about what some people would consider the best team of Season 1, but
they were supposed to win it all. They underperformed, they choked. Typical New York team thing to do. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll let you throw that shade. Yeah, that's fine.
Come at me, New York. I'm not a Patriots fan, but I can hide behind their 6 trophies as a testament to Boston dominance.
Yeah.
It's the one time I actually be happy that they won so many Super Bowls is when I can just use it to rub it into a different group of people.
You know, what is sports for if not to knock other people down?
Right. To bring people together to knock other people down.
Right.
All right, Ben. So we're going to, similar like we did the last episode, this is going to be a shorter episode, guys. It's because these teams are so good and they've only added a few players, but those players here are Flower or Ronaldo. We're not sure what he's going to go by. And he is a South Korean DPS player. He mains Genji, Ferris, Soldier 76, Junkrat, Widow, and he was on the World Cup team in 2018. What does he bring to the table?
I think what both of New York's pickups. Well, Flower, first of all, was on the New York Excelsior last season, right. And he was inactivated, I believe, after stage 2 or 3 in that area when they kind of figured out their groove and they realized that they just kind of wanted Samuel B. Pine, Libero to be their like 2 to 3 DPS players, but they're bringing him back. They delegated him to XL2. Yep. He performed pretty well there, and they're bringing him back up. I think that what the Excelsior are clearly doing here is setting up for a DPS heavy meta, and we've talked recently about whether that DPS heavy meta is actually coming.
Right.
And if it does, they're going to be in a phenomenal position. And if it doesn't, that's what we're gonna have to talk about when we get to the team as a whole. But I think what Flower and Nene both bring is a deeper hero pool for DPS. One of the main issues that they had, particularly at the end of last season, was that their DPS players couldn't cover an extensive enough hero pool where they had to constantly be subbing people out. They had to constantly put Pine in for Sable B or put Libero in for Pine or whoever, and potentially bringing on these new players, they can build up a starting 2, or they can have the flexibility to make more appropriate subs without having to really sacrifice flexibility. And I think that that's a really great thing. I think that a lot of people are looking at the Excelsior and kind of criticizing, from what I've seen, their decision to 1, drop Janice, and 2, to bring on only DPS players rather than to bring on another tank to fill the Janice role that they had lost. So I think that what the XL is doing is really going all in this DPS composition that could potentially come in stage 1 for all we know. Right. Like, we know that Blizzard is not happy with the GOATS meta.
Right.
If the GOATS meta continues to come, if at the start of season 1, 1 week from the day that we're filming this, if on that day we're seeing GOATS v GOATS, GOATS v GOATS, GOATS v GOATS, they're not going to be happy with that. The fans are not going to be happy with that. You can expect another patch coming through by halfway through stage 1, in my opinion. They are really trying to push a different meta. And I think if that different meta switch happens, the XL are going to be in a phenomenal position to potentially run the table again. Now, let's remember, the Excelsior were in every single stage playoffs finals, all 4 of them. Right. They lost 2 of them, they won 2 of them. They lost stage 1 to Spitfire, they won stage 2, they won stage 3, and they lost stage 4 to Valiant. So like, they were like a top tier team throughout the entire season, and then they fell apart a little bit. in the overall playoffs.
Yep.
They had a disappointing match, or a disappointing set match, whatever you want to call it, against the Fusion, where they were just outplayed. They didn't really have they weren't set up well with the meta, of course, but they didn't show up. And I think that a lot of people are criticizing the coaching and the organization for not pushing them to practice harder. But I think a lot of it was just the meta. I think a lot of it was them not being flexible enough. We're going to talk about, you want to just jump in? Like, this is a good transition point, right?
Yeah.
Talking about the team overall, because talking about kind of what Flower and Nene added to the team and what they were missing. So
yeah, so returning players include Seobi, Pine, Libero, Miko, Mano, Jonak, Arc, and Animo,
yeah. Close enough.
Close enough. All right, so tell me about the team as a whole.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, the team as a whole is great. They were far and away the best team last season during the regular season. What you can point out at the end of Stage 4 and going into the Season 1 playoffs was an inability for them to make the composition changes, make the macro team decision changes that had to be made in order for them to succeed in the meta that was going on at that time. One of the main things that I think we can point to is Jonak's playstyle. And up until the volley nerfs for Zenyatta came through, Jonak was like untouchable. It was like Jonak and then a huge gap and then all the other Zenyatta players in the world, right? There was nobody on his level because his playstyle just fit into what Zenyatta was able to do at that point as a hero. But coming into Stage 4, by the end of Stage 4, looking at the GOATS meta now, that style of Zenyatta play just doesn't fit with the way that these compositions work at this point.
Right.
And Jonak just hasn't been able to really change up his playstyle and learn a more defensive way of running that hero. You can even see this during the Fusion set, where this also affected the way that Arc played, where a lot of the way that they would set up, because Jonak would play a more aggressive, like almost like a DPS style Zenyatta, was he would Orb of Harmony on the main healer, the main support, which was either Arc or Animo. Generally Arc when they ran this kind of setup. And Arc would be able to like go off and just do basically anything he wanted and be untouchable. But like when Jonak had to like slightly change his style of play and didn't make those that decision anymore to Orb Arc, you could definitely see that Arc was kind of lost. He didn't really like have the same confidence to get the team healed up. The switch that Jonak had to make caused a necessity for Arc to make a switch that Arc was incapable of making, from what I saw. And I think that just that like rigidness in their playstyle, that their lack of ability to successfully change up with the way that the meta shifted, their incapability to select a true tank to stay on the field between Mano and Janus, which is now like totally done. They're all in on Mano now. Janus is not in the team anymore, so like that's not going to be an issue anymore. Where there's kind of a lack of confidence in that role. Yeah, I think that was their main issue. That was, in my opinion, a big reason why they lost the set, on top of their practice schedule, on top of the issues in management and coaching. But like these are like kind of small things, right? They're not like the players are bad. They're like the players weren't doing the right things in these situations. Right. And yes, GOATS meta is still a thing, at least for now. And like, yes, that could be a problem with the way that their play style has worked in the past, but they've had plenty of time. Like they should have had plenty of time now to adjust. And if they haven't adjusted, that's on them. Right. I have confidence in the XL that they're going to be a top tier team again, just because of like the raw talent that they have. Like every single player on the team is just like one of the best in their position, if not the best. So I don't know. I think they've done the right thing as far as pickups go to set them up long term for a late run in season 2 here. I think they have the talent. It's just a matter of whether they can make the changes and like understand the mistakes that they made, where they dropped the ball in the playoffs. So,
all right. Well, with that, I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check us out. YouTube.com/WickedEverything, Twitch.tv/WickedEverything. Follow us on Instagram @WickedEverything. Follow us on Twitter @WGEverything. Ben, where can they follow you?
You can find me at Ben Sharon. Probably when the season starts, I'll actually tweet about Overwatch and esports, because right now I'm not. Actually, I'll probably. Well, I don't know. This video is probably not going to come out, but if you were following me, I would have been probably tweeting this past Saturday about the preseason matches in Sunday.
Of course. So if you guys could just retroactively go back in time and check out Ben's Twitter, I don't know why this is such a problem. That'd be great. But definitely follow him for matches that will happen after this video is published, because of when this is coming out, which is most likely on Tuesday. We're probably going to see you guys tomorrow with a new episode. So thanks for watching. Make sure you comment something down below. Tell us what you think about what's happening. Tell us, I don't know, who's your favorite player on this team. And share this with all your friends, family. Just go into a computer lab or a public library perhaps. Put this on auto play the playlist on every computer. That'd be just like a real solid for us, and we'd appreciate it quite a bit.
Yeah, put your university's resources to good use.
Hack the printer. Say subscribe to Wicked Everything.
Yeah. We gotta get it in the Super Bowl next year.
Right, yes. That's the goal. That's the goal. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.